Hello, beautiful Yes Supply community. I am so excited. Today I'm going to be chatting with Jacqueline. Jacqueline is a recent Yes Supply graduate. She actually graduated last week. So this is going to be really fun because she can give you all of her perspectives and really fresh graduate. Jacqueline is such a ray of sunshine, so I'm so excited for her to give you her perspective and her experience.
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great, thanks for joining me. I'm super excited to hear about your experience and all of the things in this capacity.
Oh my gosh, me too. Going through Yes Supply was incredible. I didn't have any expectations. I had heard from somebody that was like the course changed their life. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so I was curious. I was like, okay, tell me more, tell me more. And she was a beautiful woman. She encouraged me. She's like, if this is something you want to do, I highly recommend it. Like, she put emphasis on the highly recommend, okay?
And you were like, okay, I'm sold.
So I jumped in with no expectations, had a beautifully curated group of women that I got to know over the last like 25 weeks has been crazy.
Yeah.
And like, wow, I mean, can we get into this right now?
Yeah, we
I,
can. Wait, hold on. Before we get into all of your experience, can you tell us a little bit about you? Tell us, those
yeah.
of you who are watching, all the things we need to know about you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Francis. So I am a coach certified right now with different modalities that help women shift into out of limiting beliefs and into walking in their purpose, understanding their truth by getting rid of the things that are no longer serving them. I'm excited.
I love that. Okay, so prior to coming into Yes Supply, were you coaching?
I did have
Okay.
a coaching certification prior to, so it got my foot in the door. It got me to understand how to ask powerful questions, who I was as a coach,
Mhm.
how to create almost like a business around it. So it was like it was just an introduction. It was like lukewarm, like here you go. This is what is going to take you to the next level. I was like, great. I appreciated that. It gave me insight into if I really did want to continue with this.
Yeah.
And I was coaching, which I loved. And I knew through that experience, because I got my first coaching certification in 2023. So everything
Okay.
was so new to me. So new, like brand new. So I had to navigate, right? Figure out what worked, figure out what didn't work, figure out how to build a business around it.
Yeah. O-
And yeah.
Okay, so from speaking to this beautiful woman that referred you to Yes Supply, was that like a coaching kind of connection that you had? How did that interaction come about? How did you find your way into Yes Supply?
Yeah, so I had known her prior to another community I was in,
Yeah.
and I just connected because she was posting stuff. Like she would do a little story about Yes Supply, and I was like curious. And I had actually watched a lot of Yes Supply's information. I've been following Reese for a while, probably from about 2024,
Okay.
and I wanted to take the course. It just didn't align for me. I feel like I just wasn't ready. When your
Hmm.
frequency is not ready to receive yet, it's not coming in.
Right.
Okay. And this time around, though, I was like, it felt right. It felt like it was a good time for me to jump in, not knowing what I would gain out of it, but trusting that this opened up for me. And I was like, I'm doing this. And I did. Oh my gosh.
Okay. And then what was your experience like once you said yes? Like you said, you went in with no expectations. What was the vibe coming in versus coming out? Give us all the tea.
Oh, so it was a little scary because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like with all these people, like you don't know where everybody's from. You
Yeah.
don't know what experience they have. And like our beautiful coach Steph, like she was a little intimidating at first because even though she's super sweet and like, my gosh, I love her to death, it felt like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to know this? How am I going to feel? Am I going to get this? Like, there was a lot of mixed emotions,
Hmm.
but I felt really grounded in knowing that this was going to change my life in some way. And it did. And it did. So throughout the program, it was, learning a lot about, and I love the way like the foundation was set.
Hmm.
from the very beginning. It wasn't like, oh, here you go, just jump in. It was a lot about like, hey, how do you feel? Like, how are you? Are you understanding what it is to be a coach? What is what is understanding ICF?
Yeah.
What is all that about? Knowing the type of coaching that you want to do. Is it trauma sensitive? I think a whole piece on that was a game changer for me because I didn't even think about that people are coming in from so many different walks of life. How can you support them in the best way possible? Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it just started to deepen. Oh my gosh, it just started to intensify, but in such a good way because everything that we learn in one module builds on itself. Even though they're new things, I felt very confident going, like, as I closed out one module and kept going to the other one. And another thing that I think strengthened that confidence is the sessions that we got to do and practice with each other. That was huge.
Because you seemed confident in the breakout rooms. Like, and again, you just have like this magnetic aura, very just like fun energy. But like in the breakout rooms, you felt confident. Like, I know there was so much space for questions, and Steph and I would always support everyone in your group. But like, it's so fun to see you go into the breakout rooms and just like you could just feel your confidence.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I felt like it gave me momentum and it gave me like the structure.
Mm,
Because before I feel like it was a little bit more free flowing,
yeah.
like talk therapy, which is amazing. And as my first introduction to understanding what coaching is and listening, being able to attune to, sitting there, being very present with my client. Yes, Supply helped me to deepen that and to really use the techniques and tools to move somebody from where they're at to where they want to go. Like we're closing that gap.
Hmm. And it can be really nice, like you're saying, when you're learning coaching and there's like a lot of fluidity in the types of tools you want to use and the questions you want to ask to have that framework. And again, there's a lot of fluidity I find within the framework, but it can be helpful to feel like there's some sort of boundaries that you've got.
Yes, it certainly did. And each thing that we learned, each time we got on the call, it felt like a good way to like understand what was happening because Steph would like go over everything that we learned. And I love the fact, 1 week is a great time period for us to be responsible. I mean, that's accountability on my part to say, I took this course, I'm showing up to everything because I committed to myself. You don't care whether I showed up or not. I mean, you do, but at the end of the day, it's my accountability to me. If I'm going to take this very seriously, I know it's going to create a ripple effect in everything that I do and in every client's life that I meet. And he had a really good way of grounding us, of speaking about what we had discussed, leaving room for questions, and then being like, okay, let's move to this. And if we weren't ready, she would sit there and allow us to answer those questions, as many as we needed to feel like whole with the information.
Hmm. And it can be so nice, like once you watch all the information, that gives you kind of like one depth of understanding, and then you come in, you're like, okay, now how do I apply this? You ask Steph all the questions, it adds another layer of understanding, and then you get to go in the breakout rooms and practice, and that adds like another layer of understanding. So, like you're saying, it can be nice to come in and ask questions because, and I'm sure you notice this, there's so much nuance within all of the techniques, depending on who you're working with, how they
Yeah.
react. Are they visual? Are they kinesthetic? All of these different things. So to be able to ask questions about who this technique will be best suited for and what if this happens, and like a lot of the what if questions, which I think helps build a lot of nuance and deepens understanding.
Yeah, because so when we're watching the information, so you're learning it on, you're just receiving information. You might be taking down notes, but I think when we come into the practice, we're embodying it.
Mm-hmm.
We're really understanding what it's like to deliver this particular technique or this style of coaching to the client in front of us. And through a lot of my sessions, it was really like a session. We'd go in there, we'd make a little introduction, And we'd make sure the presence was there between both of us, right? Me personally, I wanted to take it as seriously as possible because, you know, if this was a client right in front of me, how am I showing up? What is my best? And if I can't do that here, how could I expect myself to do it when it's actually in a client session, right? But so many awarenesses, it changed, I believe, who I was coming in as one thing I realized with life too, like you can never believe that you know more. You always have to be a student in life and be willing to learn no matter if the information's been repeated or you've heard certain things. There's always something that you can hear in a different way that will expand your awareness. And the whole course though, even though some of the stuff I felt like in the beginning I knew, like the being present, asking powerful questions, it was presented in such a different light. It was like there was so much depth to what was shared, the tools and techniques, even the module where Reese gave us like, how do you ground? How do you, call in the light? Like there's all these other beautiful techniques to also do with clients, not just here's the techniques, right? That are also powerful, which was the
Okay, I love that. Yeah, I love what you're saying about being a student of life because totally, you can know something and one person can say it and then someone can say it in a different way. And it's like, oh my gosh. I've even had that in our cohort. Sometimes like Steph will say something and then someone will be like, oh, I have a question about that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is how I would explain it. And it's the exact same thing, but it's in different words. And like sometimes it just clicks for different people. Okay, but let's circle back because you said you feel like you are a different person leaving Yes Supply than coming in. Let's talk about your personal transformation. So how do you feel like you have shifted? How do you feel different?
Number one, way more confident. I feel like there's things that I've released as well, some beliefs that I've had to let go of to feel this way right now, to believe that I'm the coach that's going to take these incredible people that are going to come into my atmosphere, into my orbit through this amazing transformation. I wasn't feeling as confident before coming in. Going through the program, because we're also working on ourselves, the people that were coaching me helped me release, helped me to find the root cause of guilt, shame, worry, fear, some of those things that I had to work through, that I had to look within myself and be like, wow, I can't believe I'm holding on to that, because we think we're doing the work and we are, but it comes up and shows up in a different way. And then we have this beautiful experience of being able to shift it with new people. And like you said, you don't know how something is going to land. And maybe that person that I was doing that session with was exactly that person that was meant to help me release what I needed to in that moment. And doing that for 25 weeks, I mean, that is huge transformation. Subconsciously, because you're not always noticing what's happening, but you start to have a different attitude. You start to show up more on like social media or on your socials. You start to put out different offers, all these ideas, like creativity just expanded so much within my heart, I swear. And you come up with different offers. Like my mind was going all sorts of places, but I felt so proud and so grateful that something like this could be offered. And it's for everyone.
I love that. Yeah, definitely. Like week to week, sometimes the changes are so just like small, but they compound. So like you're saying, that week 1 to week 25, looking back, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize how much these small changes just like continue to stack on top of each other. Okay. So are there any like wins or like weeks when you walked away from certain techniques being like, wow, that was incredible. I love that technique. I felt a huge shift in the breakout room. Did you have any of those?
Oh my God, yes. Mapping across. That was my first complete shift. So I work with this beautiful woman, and so I had this like, and I'm just gonna share a little bit, like I would sit on the couch and eat chips. So I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. She did the mapping technique on me, and I was like, I never sat down after that technique was done and eat chips on the couch again. I was like, no way. Like I realized it after. I'm like, I didn't do that. It was something I was doing like pretty much every other day, if not every day. And then I just noticed myself not doing that anymore. And then for her, she wanted to stop drinking coffee because she was drinking like 4, 5, 6 cups a day.
Wow.
And after that, we had kind of talked a little bit about how that shifted. So when I did the mapping across for her, she's like, I'm literally only drinking like 1 to 2 cups. Like, what is this magic that happened? Like, you can't explain it, but you can, right? So that was very powerful for me. And then the NEE, the neural
Right.
energetic encoding, and understanding what my encoding was, trusting that when I went on that journey and when we got to the root cause, I may not be understanding what's happening, but on a subconscious level, something is happening. Something is working, because I'm coming out of it the next couple of days. I'm not feeling like that anymore. It's almost like non-existent. When we coupled some of those techniques together, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And I'm excited because I'm like, I cannot wait for people to experience this for themselves. Like, this is not pretend. It's not fake. It's really taking you through something that is really going to create a massive shift in your life. And you literally walk away being a different person because you're no longer holding on to things that like are not serving you. Last one was putting a goal in the future.
Okay.
That was powerful because when you're taking the client through that and you're literally telling them that nothing is going to be the same from now until the future and for the future onward, I was like, you're literally changing something in like real time for them. So what would have happened before the technique is no longer going to happen because you're putting them into a new timeline. So in the quantum world, it's literally taking them from one story that they may have created with their limiting beliefs, doubts, worries, into something more empowering and powerful. Wow.
I love that. And I love that we do goal in the future, like closer to the end of the program, which is like you've worked through so much at that point. Like you worked through so many limiting beliefs. So by the time we're like switching you onto this new timeline, like you're saying, with this new goal, I feel like people are so ready for it in the cohort.
Exactly, because they've released a lot of the things that needed to be released in some of the other techniques. They've let go of a behavior, they've let go of like maybe a certain pattern, a worry, a fear, and now you feel more clear to be able to put a goal in the future and really get your energy infused with that goal, that excitement, that like magic, that empowerment, and there's almost no doubt that goal won't happen for you.
I love that. And I love that there are so many shifts that affect us on so many different levels. Like you're saying, a goal in the future, like that quantum aspect. And then there are the releasing of emotions with NEE, or the releasing of limiting decisions. And then there's something as life changing as like you're talking about with mapping across, of like, I no longer sit on the couch and eat chips. Like that's just no longer who I am. And that also feels life changing.
That's identity.
You know?
That's a shift at an identity level.
Yeah.
So you're working through like your entire body. It's like, you know, like mind, body, soul on the 4 different planes, right?
Yeah.
So when you're working with all different planes of who you are on, you know, energetic, on a soul level, material level, here you are as this incredible person now that's created your own shifts. And now you're ready to go and do that for other people.
Totally. And you get to like actually talk about your experience. If people are like, oh my gosh, mapping across, Jacqueline, I'm not sure. You're like, well, listen, because I used to be on the couch eating chips, and now like you can really speak from your experience.
I can.
Okay, what did you have any favorite techniques? So those I know are the ones that like change your life, but as a facilitator, are there ones that if it fits with your clients, you're like, I'm so excited to pull this out?
Oh my God, hypnosis.
Okay, I love that.
It was the best. When I ran the hypnosis session on another beautiful student of ours, it was a social media thing that we had worked on. And probably like a couple of days after, I see her showing up on social media. And she's posting the videos and they're amazing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible. It's a beautiful session to run. I think you really feel like I felt really empowered to be able to hold. It's such a sacred session,
Mm-hmm.
and you're working specifically with the subconscious mind. So you yourself need to be in a state of neutrality, in a state of love, in a state of like peace within your heart to be able to allow that energy transfer and deliver that experience to that client, holding them at their highest, knowing and trusting that what you're doing, they're going to experience that shift.
I love that. Hypnosis is definitely a fun one. And people get so relaxed, so the
Yeah.
whole vibe around it, like you're saying, is very, yeah, just like open and relaxed and
But
just
they're
like
in
really
control.
exciting. Yeah,
But they're
totally.
fully in control. So it's not like I'm telling them any random thing and being like, okay, just, go and eat like 10 bags of chips, right? Like it's scripted. And I love that everything was scripted. So it took the pressure off of us trying to figure out what to say, how to say it, and just following that. It's like rinse and repeat. And then you get really good at being able to speak it so fluently.
Hmm. I love that. And like you're saying, not only is it scripted, but then also you're like taking everything that they've told you that they want to be reprogrammed and then going doing that. So it's not like you have to pull it out of thin air. It's like they're
Yes.
telling you
Yes.
exactly what they want.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. During that like interview process, without giving away too much. Yeah, you're literally asking them. So it's their words that you're using to help them to shift. So I'm not making up the words. I'm just using the technique and helping them to move into that identity that they desire to be. And it's
Hmm.
almost instant. Like when I saw her showing up on social media and we had worked, the hypnosis was that she wanted to show up more without getting in her head and feeling like it needs to be perfect. And then I saw her literally like 2 days, 3 days after. I was blown away. Okay. So yeah, pretty like so powerful.
Hmm. It can be so fun as a coach, even as a facilitator of spaces, to watch people have these shifts. Like you hear them talk about how they're like nervous or they don't want to do this thing, and then like you start to shift things. They're so excited about it, and then they show up and do it, and it's like, yes, that is so fun to watch.
You have such a sense of like almost like completion. Like you feel so good inside that you were able to deliver that.
Hmm.
And even, like just watching the videos and seeing like when you guys were practicing on each other the shifts, but then to do it in real time with somebody, like game changer.
Hmm. I know. I was thinking when you were talking about mapping across all the demos, and like you're a Canadian girly, so you get it. But like all the demos are on like Tim Hortons products for me, like ice caps, Timbits, like all of these things I do not need to eat all the time, and it works. It works. But yeah, absolutely. There's so many demos where you'd see like Steph, myself, Reese have all these transformations, but then to not only facilitate it and like watch the change in your client, but then also get to experience is kind of like this beautiful dynamic that you get to participate in.
And it's not even just delivering it to clients. I feel like it's so powerful that like I can record a hypnosis for myself. Listen
Mm-hmm.
to it every night, listen to it in whatever duration that I need to, because I have the tools not only to give to others, but to continue to use on me for whatever else comes up in my life. That's huge.
Huge. Yeah. Because then you get to continue to progress. And like you said, the application for it is so wide and limitless that you can continue to kind of like build this upward momentum.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm like, Reese doesn't gatekeep. Like, she shares everything. There's no like, oh, let me just show you, but I'm not going to really show you. Like, she gives you everything you need to know to go out there and be really successful. If your heart is in it and this is what you know you're meant to do and want to do, then like, she will give you all the tools and techniques that will help you become a powerful coach.
I love that. I love that. I agree. There's no gatekeeping. Reese will share all the sauce with you. But like you're saying, you do have to meet her halfway in terms of like it was very evident coming to the cohort calls. Like your full heart was in it. You were there. You were ready to show up. You were doing all the work. And like then, like you said, coming out the other side, you feel so confident.
Yeah.
And but that was really a result of like you going all in.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, the universe has to meet us halfway, right?
Yeah.
Reese is the universe right now in the yes supply. And if you're not taking it seriously and you're not showing up and not doing the work, like, I mean, there were moments where some weeks I'm like, I have to get this done. Like I was so curious and intrigued about what we were learning next. I couldn't not come to the class prepared.
Yeah.
Right. And that excitement got me going. And I'm like, oh my, I didn't know what the end result was going to be because I try to live in the moment without expecting too much into the future.
Yeah.
And those calls and those videos just like it did something. I feel like I have no words to fully explain.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so how do you feel like this has changed your business? So I know you had another start before you came in. You've mentioned that your confidence, but how are you feeling in relation to YesFi impacting your business?
Um, so the business aspect is a whole different beast from being a coach that can deliver powerful transformation. So I'm really excited about putting out new offers and being like, I can transform your life. Just come. But it's building that. And I love that
Mm-hmm.
also Yes Supply has that component on how to build your business, how to get in front of people. And I'm actually interested in going a little bit deeper with like the master practitioner class, which
Cool.
I think is just another like level to all of this. And it's going to show how to, stand in front of a group of people and deliver a powerful session, not just to like one-on-one, but to a group or if you're doing like corporate events. I'm excited about like that aspect of it. And I love that you guys are like, it's like all in one. You don't just learn about the one thing, but there's so many different facets of being a coach, of running your business, social media content, what to say online, like just whole package.
All the things. Okay, I would love to see you in Masters. I think you would be an awesome person to be in Masters, so that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to that in the future. Okay, so what did it take for you to say yes to Yes Supply? And then what would you say to anybody that's kind of on the fence?
Okay. So like financially in the past, I was always on like, oh, it's like I wasn't able to be aligned with covering it. This time I said yes and the money showed up. Okay.
Okay.
That's how I knew I was meant to do this because it was effortless and easy. Also getting the confirmation from the lady that was like, you need to take this. Like you need to do this. So that was very powerful within me to say yes to myself because when I said yes to me, I'm now creating this container of being able to have people say yes to themselves because I'm giving myself permission to shine. And I hope that's allowing other people to know that they can give themselves permission to shine as well.
Mhm.
If you're on the fence, don't be on the fence. Get off the damn fence, okay? You should not be on the fence. Do it because there's so much to take away. There's so much to learn, but it makes you a better person. It makes you a better coach. And there's a ripple effect in what we do. People are going to transform right before your eyes. You're going to transform before your eyes. You're not even going to recognize who you are. And that alone is so powerful.
I love that. Yeah, it impacts so many layers, like you're saying, not only personally, but then that just like ripples externally to everyone around you. They notice that shift within you, your business, whatever it is impacted. So I love that. I'm so glad that you said yes to you. Do you have any like kind of last thoughts or shares that you think people need to know about you, about your journey, about anything coming up?
We don't always know the path in front of us. And as much as we want to control and know everything that we're supposed to walk into, we don't. There's a huge component of just trusting yourself. And when something like Yes Supply opens up in front of you, you need to know that that is meant for you and just make the decision first and everything else will fall into alignment.
I feel like you're speaking right into my heart because I'm working right now on releasing control of things. So I just needed to hear that. That was wild. Okay, Jacqueline, where can we follow along on your journey? Where can we watch all things Jacqueline after this?
Yeah, IG, Instagram. It's my favorite place to hang out. IEC Jacqueline. Follow me. Like, get on a call with me. Just watch what I'm doing. And, let's be on this journey together. If you're here to impact lives and create change.
I love that. That's so exciting. Well, Jacqueline, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I really appreciated it. This was so much fun.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you.
yeah, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Say yes to yourself.
I
It's the
love
only
that.
way.
That is so beautiful. Jacqueline, thank you again so much, and I will see you
Thank
soon.
you. Bye.
Bye.